Yeah, World Cups is it's a funny old feeling when you go to a World Cup. Like all week you're just excited to be there and you're just loving riding your bike and everything. But then once it comes to like qualifying day and race day, the pressure starts to it because you know you've got to if you're not protected then you've got to qualify. But if you're protected, you've got a little bit more ease and yeah, you can enjoy that day a little bit more. But then race day, obviously the pressure of a race day is massive. Like you hate people being around you, you just want to be on your own in the corner, just quiet, just thinking about things and just going over things in your head, and you don't really talk to many people. You try and blank everything out and concentrate on what you're there to do, and you've got the pressure of everyone's watching you, expecting you to do well and expecting you to get a good result, and then when you don't do it you feel like you've disappointed people in a way, but like that's part of racing also. Like you can't win them all and you can't do well in them all. You've got to take the good with the bad and obviously use them to your advantage if you can. Yeah, I've always been the same. As soon as race day comes, like the nerves and that get the better of me, and like you get pretty like angry, but you can't take banter and like people winding you up as good. Like you snap a lot quicker, and I think that's because you're like so in race mode and concentrating on that one thing so much you can't concentrate on anything else. Yeah, I think since I started racing on the professional scene, like you start to deal with that pressure in a different way. Like you don't, like you try when you finish practice, you try come down, relax and like not think about the racing. You try and like zone out of it and just carry on with your normal day, and then obviously half an hour or an hour before you go up, when you start getting dressed and changing, ready to go up, that pressure starts to leak in a little bit and you start feeling it a bit more, and then when you get on top and jump on the turbo trainer and start warming up, then it really hits you, and that's when you start getting in the zone and building yourself up and getting all amped ready to start your race run.
Mike, how do you feel about being one of the last three guys at the top of the mountain?
Shitting myself. I qualified top 5 like twice or 3 times last year, and I'd throw it all away in race runs by crashes and just making silly mistakes and going down. But yeah, some of those things you can't really do nothing about. Like once it happens, it happens. The speed we go in now, one little mistake could mean your race run, and some little mistake could mean that's your season over. So I was lucky enough that I didn't have a big enough crash to write me off for the season, and it was only ruining races. That's what happened then. What the fuck? Well, not that massive hole. Yeah. Fuck. Well, I hit the hole. Like I picked my front wheel up, and as I landed it just sucked me right a little. When I tried turning across them, you can't turn across those. Yeah, obviously it frustrates the hell out of you when you don't do it, when you're crashing all the time. Especially when you can't really figure out what you're doing wrong. It plays on your mind hell of a lot, and I think that's a big thing to do with why you crash a lot as well. because you're not really thinking about what you're doing. You're thinking about why you're crashing and trying to tell yourself not to crash, and then you crash again. And it's a fighting battle when you get on sort of a crashing roll, and you can't really, it's hard to come back from it. But obviously if you can bounce back with a good result, then you carry on that form for the rest of the year. But then if you can't, you carry on your crashing streak. When I podiumed at Lords, obviously that was a massive achievement for me. It's what I've always dreamed of, is getting on the podium at a World Cup, and the off-season I had before it was probably one of the best I've ever had. I felt strong and fit coming into that year. I was comfortable on my downhill bike. We had put a lot of work in on testing and stuff, so I was in a good mindset coming in, and just that track started clicking for me. It was dry, it was dusty, it was like what I'd been used to riding for the last 2 months, so I was comfortable riding in the dust and loose conditions. I think I crossed in second actually, and when I looked around I seen like +6 or something, and I thought, that weren't really good. And then more riders were coming down, and yeah, seemed to, like, Gwynny was on fire that day and smoked us all. But to come away with third there was probably the best feeling I've ever had at a race. Obviously coming into 2017 is sort of a bit different, because obviously Sam's changed his role and he's gone more to the enduro side, and he's not racing down as much, so it's only me and Elliot. And obviously with Elliot only coming in as a first year elite, is sort of, he's expected to do well, but he's not expected to be winning races and on the podium and stuff. So obviously that pressure then turns back to me, and like, it might not be the case, but when you think of it, like, I'm sort of lead rider on the downhill team at the minute, and sort of expected to get the results and that for the team. So yeah, the pressure is a little bit more pressure there, but I try not to really think about it and just try and concentrate on what I've been doing for the last couple of years, and just focus on my racing and my racing only.